as a manager at Aston Villa, and specifically Aston Villa, because we want to know more about the club that we love, and you were at the helm.
Yeah.
Who was I can't say the best. Who was the nicest to work with, and who surprised you the most? Even if you bought the player in, or somebody was here when you got here.
Townsend was brilliant, although I never got to manage him.
He was a good player, Andy Townsend.
I never got to manage him. I was here as a coach with him.
Yeah.
He was just brilliant. He gave the same sort of 9 out of 10 every week.
I was going to say, he was absolutely...
Every week.
He was either a 10 or only an 8. He was that good,
Staunton was unbelievable.
Yeah, good player.
Brilliant. Moaned.
Still does, by the way.
Oh, mate. When I came back, obviously I was only away 16 months. When I went to Wickham, I was away from Villa for 16 months. And then I came back as manager.
Yeah.
And I walked down the corridor for my first training session, and I could hear all the banter going on in the dressing, and I could hear Staunton moaning. And I thought, oh, he's in good spirits because he's moaning. As long as he was moaning, everything was fine.
Everything was
He
good.
moaned for Ireland. He was unbelievable moaner, but what a player. And again, he was the same every week. Never let you down.
Who never quite got there? Who you thought, oh, he's going to be great for us, and he just, maybe you're thinking, I don't know why. I mean, I don't want to be negative in Indy, but I'm trying to think of...
Nobody really stands out as not... Taylor was brilliant. You know, Taylor and Staunton had the same attitude as players. Southgate was a joy to work with.
Yeah.
Great pro. We used to have pigeonholes. You would have had one.
Yeah.
We had pigeonholes here for the mail.
Yeah.
In those days, everyone used to send things they wanted them autographed.
Like bin bag for me, kid.
It's what?
Like bin bag for
Exactly,
me.
like bin bag for put magazine. So they're all in these pigeonholes. So there was 30 odd pigeonholes, and they'd obviously be crammed full of mail for the players. And Southgate being the captain and obviously an England international, he'd have a huge amount of... He'd go and take all his letters out, like you, put it in a black bin, take them home, and he'd answer every single one.
Everyone, got to be done.
There used to be players that would go and get them, chuck them straight in the bin.
Wow.
And that tells you a lot about them as a person.
It's people.
So what you're saying about players, you know, people like Ian Taylor, Ollie Melberg,
Big
Gareth Southgate,
Yeah.
they wouldn't dream of giving less than 100% every Saturday. Every time they walked on that pitch.
I've just thought of somebody, because he's a pal of mine still,
Yeah.
and I've known him for a long time, was Dwight Yorke.
Yeah.
How was Yorkie? Because he loved...
Yorkie was brilliant.
He loved the nightlife, Yorkie, but he was...
But
But as a player, he was, like, unbelievable at times.
But he didn't... However his lifestyle was, and I had some idea what his lifestyle was like, he never left it short on the training ground. He used to come in every day and work really hard on the training ground, always on time, always working hard. Afterwards, he'd always want to do a little bit extra. Never let you down on a match day. And he was... The reason I got so upset in the end about when he left was because I built the whole team around him. Exactly. He was my focal point. He could play with any other striker.
Yeah.
I couldn't play some of the other strikers. I had Milosevic, Stanley Victor, Julian Joachim, and Dwight.
Did you have Carboni? No.
I brought in Carboni later.
Or, no, Juan Pablo Aguil, was he not one of them?
I brought him later as well.
Okay, sorry.
But at the time...
Just throwing you a couple there.
the four I inherited were Joachim, Milosevic, Collymore, and Yorkie.
And Yorkie,
Yorkie could play, I thought, with any of those because he was brilliant. Yorkie was brilliant. And the rest of the team, everything revolved around Yorkie. That's why I got so upset when he wanted to leave, because that summer I'd organised my team. This was the pre-season now. And he come in to see me in the pre-season who wanted to go to Man U. But I'd built my team around him.
Yeah.
Everything mattered about Yorkie. I came in the February of 98, and I've got 11 matches that season. 11 matches to keep us up.
Yeah.
We won 9.
Wow.
And Yorkie was brilliant
in
all of them. And he scored regularly.
Yeah.
And he was my focal point. He would play, and I'd pick him and literally pick the other 10 afterwards, you know. That's why I got so angry and so upset when he obviously decided he didn't want to play for Villa anymore.
No.
So that was hard. And there's one particular story. We played at Sheffield Wednesday away. It was my 4th or 5th match, I think. We played away at Sheffield Wednesday. And I'd given the team talk before the game in the dressing room, announced the team. I'd kept the team from them. I announced it to them in the dressing room at 5-2. And I said, right, all get changed. So they all started to get changed. Yorkie suddenly comes in. I said, where you been? He said, Gaffer, I'm so sorry. I've been putting tickets on. I said, oh, well, you're starting. And he said, who am I playing? Who's up front with me? I said, there could be Colin Moore, Milosevic, or Joachim. So he said, who am I playing up front with? I said, Joachim. He went, yes.
Really?
And I thought, that told me everything.
It's enough.
He just went, yes.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, you played up there.
Absolutely.
When you got a good partner.
I was lucky. I was here and a couple of really good strike partners. And when you say Sheffield Wednesday, it's a tough place to go as well, by the way.
It was, yeah.
So you need to.
Big
It's
Ron
one
was,
of them.
Big Ron was manager.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh,
Of
great.
Sheffield
So
Wednesday.
again, we talk
I mean,
about full turnout.
We won 3-1.
I know we've been through a lot, and I want to stay in
No.
to be in the Aston Villa side of the manager. But Big Ron, as in one of the managers here, is just like, he was just legendary, wasn't he?
Completely.
And some of the things.
Completely.
I mean, probably Jim Walker, the old fizz, was the best man to probably ask about
Ron.
Big Ron. But you must have passed him.
Yeah, many times. And we found a big bottle of hairspray when we because we took over from him. Brian took over from him when we first came in.
Yeah.
And Ron, in his office here, he had a sunbed.
Of course.
He had a sunbed and this great big tin of hairspray.
Brilliant.
That we come into. But I got to meet him a lot because when I moved here, Ron was still living in the area. And occasionally you go in and do the Wednesday night football for Midlands TV in Birmingham. And Ron was always on the show, you know. So I got to see him a lot. But he was great. And as I said to you earlier, the players that we inherited from him, what footballers they were. All footballers.
Well, that's a good one to ask you right now then.
Yeah.
Would you have loved to have managed this squad?
This squad we've got now,
Yep.
without doubt.
Good, didn't they?
Without doubt. They've come on, obviously under Emery,
He's made a lot of players better, hasn't he?
he has, yeah. And he's obviously selected himself personally, many of the players that are here now.
He's been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Was it 3 years?
Yeah,
3
yeah.
years. What's the biggest thing you think he's made the difference to the football club? And I know it's hard to answer that in terms of being, we're not in that inner sanctum anymore, but what would you think as a manager and an organiser and at the helm?
I think his decision making has been strong. He don't really care if he upsets somebody.
Nope.
Don't really care. He wants to win.
Is that hard as a manager to
Sometimes
try and
because
remove yourself from the emotional side of it?
Sometimes you can if a player doesn't have a particularly strong personality, to leave them out of the lineup completely, to drop them, you might not get them back. Mentally, you've shot it for them. You know, you might not get them back.
The balancing act of confidence.
Yeah, and you think, he needs a cuddle. This one needs a cuddle. He needs him sat alongside you. You need to be bullying. You need to be aggressive with him.
I don't need a cuddle.
It wouldn't probably get to that stage. No, and you've got all different players with all different personalities. And you think there's certain players in your dressing room in front of everybody else you can humiliate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have the right effect on them.
Best effect.
And there's others that you need to, don't shout at me, boss, please.
Yeah. I said a couple of weeks ago, I thought he'd changed the mentality at this football club to a winning mentality.
Correct.
Because I know you when you come in here.
Yeah.
In the position that they were in, you were like, we need to change not just the players' attitude to make sure we win, but everybody within the football club. So that mentality around the football club to be a winning mentality.
That's important. The whole thing, the backroom staff.
Yeah.
They have to join in with it. They have to get the winning mentality as well. And the fact that you take no rubbish, you take no garbage from anybody.
Yeah.
I always used to say, we're Aston Villa and we ain't scared of nobody.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I'd often use that phrase sort of in the dressing room, just as we're literally about to go out the door. And you have to give players confidence. I think Emery has done that in particular. I think he's given a lot of players huge amounts of confidence in the way that he's got them playing at the moment. And they all play for Villa every week. Yeah. They seem to be playing for the badge, you know, which maybe over the years some players haven't.
And not only that, you've obviously signed contracts to existing players and new players, but we've signed those 4, 5, 6 existing players that have signed extension to be here even longer. So it seems as though the whole place is a happy place to be, doesn't it?
And can I just ask you, because it would be massively remiss of us, about, again, going back to your own managerial time, we talk about momentum, confidence, the runs that these lads are able to go on now. Of course, the FA Cup final in 2000 and the run that you were able to go on. Can you just put us into the mindset perspective of how that is when you are building momentum with yourself and your team, and what it's like getting to the big day itself?
Yeah. It was... I'm trying to think. We started off with Darlington, I think.
Can't remember, was it really?
We beat them 2-1, I think. We struggled like hell in the third round at Villa Park. We really struggled to beat them. But we managed to beat Darlington and start the run off. It was when we finally got to the semi-final, when we played Bolton at Wembley. They outplayed us. Big Sam.
They had a good team, to be fair, didn't they? They were an aggressive team as well, weren't they?
They were good. And they were there as the underdogs. Yeah. Which sometimes is good to be.
Absolutely.
But they played very well against us. And it went to penalties, as you know. And David James came up. I think he saved at least 2. He might have even saved 3.
Can't remember.
In the semi-final, which... and we won the penalty shootout. I think we won 4-1. And Dion came back. Dion had his broken neck that season.
Yeah.
And Dion, again, what a player. What an amazing player Dion Dublin was. Some of the goals that he scored during his time here was incredible. But no, so the FA Cup, I think we always had 57 rammed down our throats. You know, rightly so. You know, it'd been a long time since we'd even been to a final, and so 57 was something that we wanted to try and emulate in that final, but we just didn't perform on the day. And as we're talking about it now, you know, it depresses me.
There you go. As a player or a manager, is it the only thing you would change in your career?
One of the things I'd change, yeah.
That would be
high up
the one
in the
with
top 3.
Yes, it is. And
what, in terms of what, like decisions or that were made on that day, or just overall?
Yeah,
like
decisions. You should have done something different. I should have done something different. I should have been more offensive. At that particular time, we as a team were a very fit team, a very strong team. We won a lot of games in the second half of matches. And I always used to say 0-0 at half-time to me is a great result, it's fine, because we'll kick on. We always used to kick on second half, and our strength and energy would wear people down. They'd get fed up with playing against us. We'd just bother them the whole time, non-stop, keep going, and then suddenly we get a break, and then we get another break, and we'd end up winning match 2 or 3-0. And I fully expected us to do that in the final. 0-0 half-time. I thought, we'll kick on from this. Chelsea, we've beaten them before. We've beaten them in the league. And I just thought that we'd kick on. But obviously they scored before us. And I should have been more offensive in the last 30 minutes. I should have thrown on substitutes that would have meant that we'd have attacked a lot more than what we did. And I always thought we're only ever 1 goal behind. If we nick one, we'll go on and win it. Yeah. But we just didn't nick the one that we needed. And in the end, it didn't work out as well as it should have done. So that's haunted me a long time. 25 years, that is.
Yeah, and still now I can hear it, though, the way you talk about it.
Yeah, it still bothers me.
Again, that's testament to you as a person and how much this club means to you, that it still does in that sense.
Yeah,
but I think
like I said earlier, you know, if I could have just said, okay, I was here 4 years, we did okay, but
this is it.
Was
this
the
one
cup
got
that I
show for
won.
it.
You know, it was the cup.
So in terms of highlights, then let's finish this on a positive. What would be the highlights? Either, I know we've already asked about playing wise, but managerial years. I mean, that run in itself has to be a huge highlight in its own.
Yeah, the FA Cup run was good, but obviously previous managers have done that before. I love Unai Emery. Sometimes I do dislike him for some of the records that he's taken away from me.
It's good to hear you because you speak really passionately still about the club.
Yeah.
And I think you said earlier on, players don't understand when they come here, they play, and then when they leave, they're like, what a big football club that is.
I've said it before. I think I might have said it publicly before, but I said to my wife, the day we leave Villa, it'll all be downhill.
Yeah.
And it has been.
Yeah.
Really, it has been.
Apart from this podcast.
Apart from this podcast.
Coming back
Hey, by the way,
But seriously,
yeah.
no. When you walk away from a club this big,
Yeah.
and everything about this club, I mean, look at the name.
I know.
It's symmetrical. No other club has got a symmetrical name. Aston Villa. No one else is called Villa.
No.
You know, there's lots of Uniteds, lots of Cities, lots of Rovers. There's only one Villa. It is unique in many ways. So so it's massive. It's massive, and it will always be a big part of my life and remain that way. I'll always smile about it. I'll always be quite happy about what went on when I was here, and 3 times we were here.
Yes. Coming back in many different guises.
To come back and go away and come back on 3 occasions. And if I could just say, when Brian took the job as manager in November '94, we came back to the club and we kind of knew all the people in the offices.
Of course.
You know, and they knew us. And Brian had obviously been here a lot longer than myself. But Brian was coming back to familiar faces. And when I came back as the manager, I was away for 16 months. I left in 96 and came back in 98. I come back to a football club. It was a Villa family. You know, I knew everyone. I knew, and the girl that worked in the wages department, her daughter was now 7. Yeah. She was only 5 when I left, and now she's 7. You know, and really just sort of picked up on everybody's life. And the thing about that I loved doing here was going down to Villa Park, which I did often, obviously, to see Doug. I'd see him 2 or 3 times a week, but I'd always go into the offices and say hello to everybody, and I knew everybody's wife's name, husband's name, I knew their kids' names, and I knew some that had dogs and some that didn't have dogs, and you just did, but because it was the Villa family, and I think that this club has always made that side of things very special for me.